Malu is a money coach for women, founder of this Mama Invests movement, and winner of Women of Change 2022 award in the Economic Empowerment category by Doha Women Forum. Circumstances led her to learn the ins and outs of creating wealth through multiple high-level coaching programs. She created a six-figure investing portfolio for her family, ditched her job, and created the first company in the GCC that helps women take control of their money, create financial well-being, and generational wealth. Hello everybody, today with me is Malu from This Mama Invests, and we are gonna start the series Money Matters. Hi Malu, how are you?
Hello, Anka. I'm super excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Me too. I'm really excited because, as I was telling you, I am passionate about the idea of money, and I have a Christian background which says that you should not really speak about money and embrace money making and wealth. So I decided to go unorthodox and bring the subject of money into the light.
Yes, so important. And I think it's so common for so many people, especially women, that we are not um, um, educated in the same way as men are about money. And in so many families, and in so many cultures as well, talking about money is actually, is very taboo. So it's something that the more I talk to people from different backgrounds, like living in Doha, we have the opportunity to talk to people from literally everywhere, and it's the more I talk to them, the more I realize that we are all pretty much the same when it comes to money. I mean, not the same, but we have a lot of similarities.
Yeah. So I'm curious about your background story, who you are, and how did you come to creating This Mama Invests?
All right. So there are some moments in life that make you change like everything. And for me, it was a moment where I discovered that I was pregnant for the third time. It was like not planned. And at the same time, the hotel where I was working, it was like closing for the public. And so we were sent to work from home, but we didn't really know what was going to happen because during COVID, hospitality business was um, like non-essential business. And so at that moment, these two things combined together. When I told my husband, "Hey, I am pregnant," he freaked out, and with a major reason. Right? I truly understand where he was coming from, but at the same time, I was like, maybe the hormones, or I don't know, but I was a little bit upset about how this, because I was filming him, and then I saw his reaction, and he was asking me like, "What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We have no money." And he was like, like so stressed out, and with reason. Like I totally totally empathize with that emotion, but it made me realize like how like money is really like controlling like major decisions, major feelings, how we feel about important moments in our lives. And that made me really realize that I need to do something. I don't want to um, repeat history, because I grew up with a lot of financial difficulties. And so I really did not want to, grow up with scarcity. And instead of accepting the fact that this is how it is, there is nothing we can do, I have my job and this is what I'm supposed to do until I decide to retire, and we are going to perhaps, like worry about money all the time. Instead of accepting that, like I was like, I'm gonna take, things in my own hands, and I'm going to figure this thing out, because it's not possible. Like how other people like can really manage to be wealthy, and I'm doing everything what I was supposed to do. Like the society tells you you need to study and and have good grades. I studied. I was like first in university, um like not every single year, but I was either first one in the whole like promotion or second one. So some years I would have they give you like how's it called when they give you like, yeah, like sometimes I will have scholarships, sometimes not, because I was like competing with one girl for the first or second place. So I was studying hard. Then they tell you you need to find a job. I found a job, and I was working super hard. And I was I wasn't really saving money like that. Like I never really had this reflection of saving all the time. Like my husband was really like taking all money responsibilities, and so I was doing everything that I was told to do. Why am I struggling? And so that's the moment where like things started to click. Like, okay, we are in this situation and I don't like how I feel about it. At the same time, during COVID, seeing like a lot of people were losing their jobs. And so I was like, this idea of job security is just an illusion. Like, so many people with good positions, and that they were thinking that they had it all figured out about money, and then suddenly boom, because depending on one income per household or two incomes is really risky. Like, then I one of the things that I learned is that wealthy people, they have at least, like millionaires have on average 7 different revenue streams. And like we didn't have like more than two. So there were like so many things that I had first to unlearn, to things that I had to unpack, like beliefs that I had about money, and some the way I was handling money, and all that I knew about money was wrong. Like I had to accept the fact that everything I knew about money was wrong. And I had to start from scratch. So I was learning, and I had coaches helping me as I was signing up, because, if all by myself I was stuck, then, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So I decided, okay, I'm going to take a leap of faith. I'm going to sign up to this program. And, oh my gosh, it was like life changing. And sorry?
Who did you work with? Was it a one-on-one or a
Yeah,
mastermind?
it was a like a online program from Kiana Daniel. Then I joined her accelerator program with Invest Diva Kiana Daniel. And so I was so much like in shock with everything that I was learning, that I decided that I really wanted to like tell other people. Like when you try a great restaurant and you want to tell all your friends about it, like you have to go to this restaurant. Like I had the same, I had like very similar like feeling of like the urge of like also kind of like waking people up, because I feel like when you are like so much into the system, it's like you are like in a zombie state, just following what you are supposed to do. And so when you wake up to how it really works, it's like you want to wake other people, because otherwise you will be doing a disservice by keeping all this information by yourself. So I started going on social media, and that's how this Mama Invest was born.
Yeah.
Was born.
There are so many things that I want to unpack there. So you come from a space where you weren't really familiar with investment, and then you are going through this rough patch that so many of us had during COVID. So this was like
2020,
2020?
like 3 years, 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, 3.5 years ago. So then you decide to take ownership over your financial freedom, and you undergo this accelerator, and this is what brings you to creating this Mama Invest. You don't have any
Absolutely.
background in finance or economics?
No,
Okay.
no, absolutely no. I have a master's degree in hospitality, but I don't have any background in finance, and I think that is proof that you don't need 20 years of experience in financial background to be a successful investor. Like I really, by sharing my story with as many people as possible, especially women, I really want them to understand that they can, number one, change their life just like that. It's just a decision of, I'm gonna make this. Can I swear?
Please.
I will make this shit happen. One of the things that really I was reading this book, Think and Grow Rich, and one of the things that really I recognized that I had is, when you know your why. Like my why was like, I want to take my family, like I want to take them to the next level. I want them to be, I want to give them opportunities and to live with abundance, no scarcity. So for me, it was like um, burning the bridges.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to burn the bridge. Like there is no way back.
Yeah.
I was like, until now, I'm determined to make it happen, to make it work, and it's working. But at the very beginning, when I was just getting it, I was like, I'm going to figure it out. And I promised to myself, whenever I face any difficulty, I'm just going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I think like when you go all in and you take a boat, you go to an island and you burn the boat. There is no way back. Because if in the back of your head you say, okay, I'm just going to keep my job just in case I will go, no, it's all in. So I burned the bridges, I burned the boats, and I went all in. I was like really so confident that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think anyone can do it. So I really hope that any other person really can think that they can do it, even if they don't have any financial background.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
in the end, there is just a lot of jargon and a lot of terms that, and just to overcomplicate things, but it's actually much more simpler than it seems. Is much more simpler, and there are so many different ways to become an investor. You can be like a passive investor, or you can be like a very active investor, and there are many ways in between. So if you are a person that you really don't want to be too much involved, you just want to do a few moves one time, 5 minutes per month, and you just click and that's it, and see your money growth, there is an alternative. And if you want to choose something different, and you can do it as well. So it's not, I think, like the image or the image that majority of people have about investing is like you are in front of your computer and you are buying and selling, and you need to check the markets every day and see what's going on, and that is completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think it works for certain people, but what my financial advisor, the first question that he asked me was, what is your risk tolerance? Because depending on your risk tolerance, we're going to have different plans, right? So let's go into the practicality of it. What would be the 101 of investing? How did you get started for yourself? What did you add into your portfolio? Do you have a strategy? I imagine that you have a long-term and a short-term strategy.
Yes, absolutely. So the very first thing, and it's right, like one of the first steps is to know what is your risk tolerance, because majority of people who are just playing in the markets, they lose all their money because they don't know what they're doing. And if you know your risk tolerance, and then what are your goals, and you can draw a strategy based on that, you learn how to select assets on industries that you are knowledgeable about and that you actually care about, and you are very clear with what things you support and things you don't want to support. Then you can do your research accordingly and start building your portfolio in that way. So that's how I started. I knew what was my risk tolerance. I decided I wanted to be a long-term investor. I chose certain industries that I care about, and then I chose category kings on those industries, and then I started doing my research on each or on each company, and I selected some ETFs, some funds as well, and that's how I started increasing my portfolio on every month, doing some contributions to my account, reinvesting as much as I could, increasing my income as well, because building wealth is not just about investing, it's not just about learning how to make money. It's a combination of 6 pillars. So I developed my framework, the wealth creation system, in which we have 6 elements, 6 pillars. So number one, you invest in yourself, which is exactly what I did at first. Then you make more money, you increase your income. The more passive, the better. Then you manage your money. So once you make money, you actually want to be smart about your money and be mindful about the way you spend it. You apply the pay yourself first technique in order to make sure that you are always contributing to the next pillar, which is multiply your money, investing, making it grow, and then protecting your money. Have your will, think about if you want a life insurance, if you're a business owner, think about ways to be more advantageous with taxes. And then the 6th pillar is master your money mindset, because that is really like 90% of your success. So it's actually a combination of all the 6 pillars working together. If you don't do one of them, is not going to be sustainable. Your wealth creation is not going to be sustainable in the long term. You can make more money. You can start investing. You can track your expenses on every month. But if deep down you don't feel worthy of abundance, somehow you are going to auto-sabotage yourself, mismanage money in certain ways, and it's just not going to work in the long term.
Yeah, so I want to zoom in a little bit because this is also like my zone of of interest, right? The spiritual beliefs that you hold, and how exactly do you support people with their money mindset and support them into expanding into money worthiness so that all the other pillars are actually supported. Because from what I'm hearing you saying is not that you are building each pillar on the other one, is more managing all the 6 more or less at the same time, because of course you have to increase your income so that you can increase the quantity of money that is invested. But it also seems that the umbrella of your money mindset is very important, and it's is the umbrella that is protecting the pillars, but it's also the umbrella that is holding, supporting the pillars.
Is really the most important part. The most important. I work on my mindset every single day. Every single day. Like I have a program, right, where I teach people how to invest. And so within my program, the very first module, we start working on the science of wealth and understanding how our minds work, and how to identify our money limiting beliefs and how to, change them and to have beliefs of abundance, to change how you actually think about money. And it really works. Like I mean, it's a day-to-day work, because like just like people that go to the gym to work on their six pack up, you cannot go to the gym one time and then it's done. And even people who already have six-pack, they keep going to the gym to maintain it. So our mindset is a muscle. Definitely that is your area. You know it very well. And so it's definitely something that I encourage everyone to do it on a daily basis.
How I'm curious, of course, about the practicality of it, because there are so many different ways of transgressing or transmuting your money beliefs and installing supportive money concepts, or a view that is actually empowering you. How do you do it for your clients? Do you have like a three tips or some framework that you are using for every day for yourself, maybe also, not only for your clients?
So I believe that the first thing is to really understand what are your money limiting beliefs. Like write down like what things you heard growing up, like money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are like this, or you need to work very hard to make money. So if you actually make like an exercise to write down at least three of the most important money limiting beliefs that you have, and then you take each of those and then you reframe it. You work on like understanding like where it came from, and then consciously choosing to reframe that phrase with an I am affirmation. And then that affirmation that is especially unique for you, then you can repeat it to yourself. You repeat it to yourself. I mean, there are millions of affirmations, and sometimes you see on social media, repeat this affirmation, repeat that affirmation. But I really believe that it is much more effective when those affirmations are really um, connected to your limiting beliefs. And another technique is to step into abundance, is to actually write down all your wins, like 3 wins of your day every night. I love that. Just to just to finish the day with that feeling of accomplishment. Like we tend to to think more about things that went wrong and not so much on those that went well, but where your focus goes, your energy flows, and actually everything grows. So I think that is super important. And something else that I do, and also is an exercise that I have for my clients, is to actually write like how do you see yourself like in 5 years, and to write it on the present tense. Like I am a best-selling author, and I have like all this, and like you like actually write exactly how you see, like how is your present life, like imagining how is your present life, and then to read it every morning. Like I have like a morning ritual. And if you cannot read it every morning, like a hack that I have for that is like you record it on your phone, and every morning listen to it, because like that is going to work on your brain. And again, you connect it as well with all those limiting beliefs that you recognize in yourself. You can somehow ingrain it and have your future life described in a way that is really abundant for you, for what you believe means abundance, because it has a different meaning for everyone. So that, and there are like so many other things, but I would say these are like the most impactful that in my experience.
Yeah, and it's really powerful to recognize that our limiting beliefs live in the subconscious, and that only saying things but without truly believing them is just, for somebody who's highly intellectual and highly intelligent, their brains is not gonna believe if they just say, I am abundant, I am abundant. But that's why I love the practice that you mentioned, which is to write down 3 wins of the day or 3 accomplishments, because then the brain actually sees and starts believing, oh yeah, actually I'm great at achieving things. Like, see, like I have a track record for that. So then it's much easier to inculcate in the subconscious, oh yeah, it is true that I am abundant because I have all these like pages written that,
Yes, yes.
yeah, that
And something else that is like super powerful is like just to imagine a certain moment. And for example, for me, like one of my goals is to receive like my 2 Club award in September of next year. And so every night before I go to sleep, I am just imagining myself that I am going up in the stage and I'm receiving my award. And I try to just like feel as much emotions as possible, because like our subconscious mind reads the language of emotions. So because just repeating is like, it's just in your head. But when you can actually like feel it, and like you feeling your body that your physiology is changing because of that thought, it's crazy, because our subconscious mind cannot differentiate what is real and what is imagination. It just takes what it is and says, all right, this is the reality. Let's do it. Let's live it in that way. Let's attract all the things in life that are aligned with that level of frequency of those thoughts and feelings. So it just works like wonder. That is exactly how I manifested becoming part of the team of Invest Diva. Like I was imagining myself sitting in a round table with all the team members, because I saw she posted on Instagram like, hey, here's my team. And I grabbed, I kept thinking about that picture, but with me sitting there. And guess what? Like almost like a year later, I went to Florida for a meeting that she was organizing, and her secretary, out of nowhere, called me and she said, "Hey, Kiana is inviting you to join the a dinner." And then I went there, and that day she asked me if I wanted to be part of her team.
amazing,
How
amazing.
crazy
Yeah,
is that?
yeah. So this is
It
also, I love this story. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I mean, no, just what I'm gonna say is it's crazy. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, manifesting is just wishful thinking," but it is not. It is based on science. It's physics.
Yeah. Neuroscience and vibrational attraction. Yeah, I love the story because I think that a lot of people think that you need to do so much effort to manifest, right? And the ideal is to live life as you did, where you planted the seed and then you are sure that it's going to happen and you felt it in your body. It was a tangible reality for you. And then you didn't even have to apply or ask for that job. It was just offered to you. So I love it. I celebrate it. And then you mentioned an award. Which award is that? What is the award?
So this is a 2 Club is an award that ClickFunnels is a company for funnels websites, and when you reach $1 million selling on one revenue on one funnel, they provide an award. And it's kind of like a big deal in the world of like people who are users of ClickFunnels. They make like this huge event. It's actually they do the biggest digital marketing event in the world, which happens in Florida every single year in September. And so it's people flying from all over the world just to receive, to see all the lineup of speakers, like world class speakers, and they provide awards. So I am working towards that.
Yeah, and so shall it be.
Yes, it's gonna happen.
Sure. I mean, like, it already happened in the timeline. You just need to cash in that reality.
Yes,
You mentioned
yes.
your portfolio and how it's diversified, that you're investing in EFTs, and I would be curious about what exactly do you have in your portfolio, and do you spend time buying? You also mentioned researching some companies, so do you also buy stocks? You mentioned that it's more of a long-term investment, so that you are investing on a regular basis, which is probably a monthly basis. But do you also have, like, what exactly is your portfolio comprised of, and how did you get to decide this? This.
So in my portfolio, I have stocks, I have crypto, and so yeah, and I also have real estate, but that I'm not really handling. So in my, let's say, just financial, talking only financial markets, I have in my stocks portfolio, I have like a list of um, companies that I really do believe they're going to be growing in the next 15 years, which is my time horizon. And these are in industries that I believe, that I support, and so I invest on them. I contribute on a monthly basis. I invest on dividends stocks as well. I reinvest those dividends, and sometimes, not very often, I do some swing trading, some like medium term, trades, just to capture some profits that I can reinvest later on. That way I can compound my portfolio even faster, because I did not start investing when I was 20 years old. I'm already like 39. And so I'm looking like all the ways that I can grow my portfolio faster.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it because I just turned 37 yesterday, so I am thinking
Okay.
this.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm thinking this is amazing news for so many people who, we didn't have this education, right? Like, as you mentioned, we had to be good in school. I so resonate with your story because it was the same thing. Me and my best friends were first and second, so always kind of pendulating between the years. And then you go on the job market, and then you are like, like, I don't find myself at all. Like, I don't resonate at all with what is happening here. And then you start thinking of different ways that you could take ownership over your financial freedom. But then you find yourself in your 30s and you're like, God, I should have started this when I was 15.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But I'm still happy and super grateful the way things have happened in my life, because I wouldn't be like right here, perhaps empowering other women, if I didn't have that urge to act, because I was triggered for things that happened in the past. So if that things in the past didn't happen, then I wouldn't perhaps have the same triggers, and I would be in a different place right now. So I absolutely believe that everything happens for you, not to you. So I'm very grateful for being right here, right now, talking to you, and be able to, impact more people.
Yeah. So why do you feel that money matters?
I think that money matters because, like, it's what we really. I think this money is like fuel. It fuels just every other area of our lives. If you want to access a certain kind of education, you need money. If you want, um, perhaps you need a certain doctor to treat something specific to you, that can be expensive. If you are going through a bad time with your partner and you perhaps need counseling, then that is going to cost you money. And actually, like, the number one reason people divorce is because of money. The number one reason people stress, like 71% of Americans, they are like stressed out about money. It's crazy, like the amount of impact that money has on our lives. And I truly believe that money is an extension of who we are. So if we are a good person, if we have good intentions, money is going to amplify who we are. We are going to show up as, like, imagine if this is a question that one of my coaches asked me one day, like, if you had all the money in the world, all the time in the world, and you could do just anything that you want, would you be doing what you are doing? At that time, I was working in a hotel, busting my ass like for like 10 hours per day, not seeing my kids. I was like, hell no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So, and what would you do instead? And I was in blank. I was like, how disconnected I am from myself that I don't even know what I love anymore. I don't even know what my passion. Like she asked me, like, what are you passionate about? What do you like? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Like if you take me out of what I thought I was, hotelier, and I work in, in hotels, who am I outside of that? And so sometimes we are trapped into our careers and we take the identity of our careers to ourselves and we forget totally about the essence of who we are and what we love and what we are on earth for. And so I truly believe that in order to avoid just working because you have to pay the bills and then you forget about yourself, if you manage to build a financial security, that you actually work on things that you love because you want to, not because you have to, you can't live in a different way. Like right now, I'm building my business in a way that I now have time to see my kids. My daughter tells me, Mama, I want to play with you at 11 a.m. All right, I'm going to take a 10 minutes break and I'm going to play with her. So I want her to see the example that it is actually possible to have to manage your time the way you want, because role models really does matter. If you see your parent, like I saw my parents working super hard, so that was the idea I had of how life works. So I want my kids actually to see that there are different options, that my husband still works, like, for a company. So that is one way of, choosing. And there is another way, like I'm choosing not to work for anybody. I'm choosing to be my own boss and so that is another option, and that we can successfully do that. So I truly believe that, if you have more money, you can actually live life on your term. You can show up as a better parent, as a better neighbor, as a better spouse, as a better, just person. You can contribute more. If you are all about just contributing, like you could contribute even more. So it actually is just an expansion of who you want to be. So that is money for me. It's really transformational.
Yeah. And I love that you have an empowering, a useful perspective on it, because at the end I think everybody, dreams of winning the lottery and having $1 million, and then you ask people, okay, so what would you do with that? And then you understand that it's not really about the money, it's about the freedom, it's about the capacity to choose, it's about having space to enjoy time. And it's not really money, it's just what money brings. And of course it
Exactly.
takes a lot of um time and courage to decorticate the story about around money, and also to exit the system, because the system is so beautifully, perversely, obscenely created, so that people do not have the time to understand that this false security is actually sucking the life out of us, because we exchange our extremely valuable time for
Mm-hmm.
money. Like I was listening to this guy, his name is Peter Crone, and he said that the fabulous thing about addiction is that it almost hits the spot. It always almost hits the spot, right? But you always have to go back because it never gives you exactly what you need. So it's the same with the salary. Like you always have to go back and wait for the salary and wait for the salary, because and it will never end. Like retirement, you worked your whole life for hopefully 10, 15, 20 years if you are really lucky, for a very low portion of what you contributed during your salary time.
Yeah, and I think that is like talking about retirement. I think it's very critical for people that are expats. I mean, I think everybody, and like no matter where they are, but especially expats, because when you're an expat, you aren't really contributing to any retirement pension back in your country. So you really need to. You are on your own. You are responsible to build that on your own. And like many people who are in countries that give you tax advantages, like no tax on your income. And there is like one of the major mistakes that I see is lifestyle inflation, which is when you have more money and then you increase your expenses as a result.
Yeah.
And in reality, I believe that we still should think that, okay, if I'm increasing my income, then I need to contribute more so that I can reach that goal faster.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like I used to not think about that at all, but yeah, it's so one of the changes that I had to adopt. It's super important. And like as technology advances, people are living longer. And especially for women live longer than men in general. We
Yeah.
live on average 5 years longer than men. So, and this is one of the reasons why I am so into empowering women to take control of their finances, because we actually need it the most. We live longer. Our medical bills are going to be higher. We are going to need actually a bigger nest than men, because of that. We usually take more career breaks because of maternity leave, or because taking care of a parent, or in the couple is usually women who take on that role of stepping out of their careers, for different reasons, and not being, I think like the financial confidence is really like not the same as on men. Like for instance, I read on one statistic that like men, usually like women will apply for jobs when we feel that we 100% tick all the boxes, and men will apply when they tick 60% of the boxes.
20%.
So the audacity,
20%.
the audacity.
20%. I'm laughing because I read that, and for men it's 10 to 20%, and for women is over 90%. And when I read that, I was like, this must be a feminist who made who made this research. But that tells you how we operate very differently in the world. And it's also like I can see it a lot in the dating world, where men are just very relaxed about who they are in partnership, in marriages. They are very relaxed about who they are, and women are constantly struggling to be the perfect mother and the perfect career woman and the perfect friend, and there is just so much pressure. But I'm curious about, because you work with women, so I'm curious to see what you noticed in terms of creating money, going after money, asking maybe for raises and investments. Like, did you find something that is striking about women, or maybe in report to men also?
Well, one of the things that I do see is the dedication of women towards learning about money. And even like the people who follow me, the people who attend my master class, like I can see like a lot of difference between I really don't like I don't often like to make differences, but sometimes you do see the difference. And there is like a very there are a lot of studies that show that actually women are better investors than men. Like a women a women's managed portfolio is actually grows better in the long term, because we have, like, men have more testosterone, and testosterone is the hormone of overconfidence. And so when you are overconfident, you take more risk than you can afford. And so the fact of the way we are, like, naturally, like, we have an advantage because we don't take more risk than we can afford overall. And like, we take more measured risk, and we invest more for the long term, instead of, going into something, not doing research properly, or just, just I can't really see the difference on all the women in my community, and how dedicated they are. They want to understand. They're asking questions, and that is just, it's just amazing, because it's, and they really want to bring a change for them, even though some of them don't have the support system. And I think that is also something that impacts so much, having a spouse that is not fully on board because they just don't believe in it, or they also didn't have the backgrounds, or not having any family or friends who is investing. And so having people to tell you, be careful, you might lose your money, so, like, going through this by yourself, it's really, it's really not helpful. So when you are in community, and we women, like, I don't know, I just love the kind of community that we have formed with the 100K Academy and Wealth Builders Mastermind, because it's really like, we want to support each other, and we are growing this together. So it's and I've had some other male friends tell me, you know what, I really love what you guys are doing, because we don't see this kind of, like, men, they're like more like, they want to show off, they don't want to show the vulnerabilities with their friends, and so, or perhaps some, I really don't like to generalize, but I really do see that on our community is like completely, like, it's a safe zone, like, there is no guys mansplaining things to you, or it's just like, it feels very welcoming, and that you can come and you can ask any type of questions, and we're just going to support you on your journey.
Yeah, that's really beautiful, and I really celebrate the fact that you created a community where women can support each other. I think we really have this deep need of being witnessed and co-creating with other women, and it's kind of like biological, I think, ingrained, when we were going in the circle, and we were singing together and telling stories together and bringing up children, breastfeeding children together, and now we are making money and investing together. So,
Yes,
yeah,
making money together. Yes,
yeah.
because I think, like, women, they like, we especially perhaps moms, we like to put everyone else above us. And I really truly believe that first we need to put our oxygen mask first before helping someone else. So let's become wealthy ourselves. Let's build our retirement account. Let's change our habits. Instead of just thinking, okay, I'm going to open an investing account for my kids. Like, if they don't see the role model in you, they're just going to grow up, receive a chunk of money they don't know what to do with. So it's just like so important to, like, for us to think about, if I want to help my kids, if I want to help my family, instead of forgetting myself, which is what my grandmother did, what my mom did. I mean, not forgetting themselves, but really putting themselves last.
Mhm.
We need to put ourselves in priority, because, again, we are the role model of our kids.
Yeah, that's. I love that you're bringing this into the discussion. I imagine that the generations before are like, "Oh, but no, self-love is like so bad, and you are so egoistic." And of course, it's not at all that. And I think it's really important also for the generations that we are bringing up, because if you're a mom of daughters, then they will model whatever relationship you have to your own needs. And if you are bringing up boys, then the boys will learn to respect other women by seeing how you respect yourself and how they can respect you. And I think that little boys have this tendency of wanting to provide and wanting to support. And if you don't allow for them to do that, then they will not be able to translate that into their female friendships or in their partnerships. So it's really beautiful what you brought to light.
Thank you.
How do you support the clients that you are working with? So you mentioned the academy. Maybe you can like give us, if you can, a complete perspective on what it looks like to be supported and to work with you. In
Oh
fact,
yes, absolutely. So I have a 10-week program which is called 100K Academy, Fast Track to Your First 100K Academy, and as well have a membership which is Wealth Builders Mastermind. So in the Fast Track to Your First 100K Academy, I lay out all the um, all exactly what you need to become a successful investor, and really no matter where you are, because there are um, universal principles that you can apply really regardless of where is your geographical location. So learning, like there are 5 phases. So the first phase is all about building the foundations, working on your mind, um, finding out where you stand financially, working on your net worth and your cash, and some of figures to really find out where you stand, what is your risk tolerance, and then defining what will be your strategy. And then the second phase is like i want I want people to have the experience of buying their first stock. So I walk them through opening their account and buying just one stock of, I give them like some ideas of ETF, something that is, low risk, and that would be suitable for majority of investors. So something that really nobody can go wrong with that. And then the next phase is learning all about how the financial markets work, and what are all the different types of stocks that exist, and all the options, not only of stocks, but what are the different options out there for investing. And then the next phase is all about learning the 4 pillars of asset analysis, which is my framework to analyze a specific asset. So you analyze from 4 different angles, and then you bring them all together to know what is exactly what you're going to do with that stock. Is it a stock that you want to hold for the long term? Is it a stock that you want to sell after you reach a certain profit target? Are you going to hold it for a shorter term? Are you just decide what is like the best strategy, what exact price is the best to buy it at. And so and after you do that, just how to automate the whole thing, how to rebalance your portfolio, and so that you pretty much you are a successful investor. So that is the goal of the 100K Academy, is divided into 10 weeks. And then what I provide as well is 3 months of membership, and then it continues as a paid membership. But in my membership, which is called Wealth Builders Mastermind, we do develop different subjects around wealth building. One of is very investing driven, but we also do talk about making money, and I have expert guests coming to talk about the other pillars: making money, talking about your mindset, protecting your wealth, managing your money. And we have weekly Zoom. So all the interactions are happening there. We have a community, we have a Telegram group. So that is where all the new information and community happens. So that's how I build it.
I love it, and I love that it feels so tangible and practical. And my question since the beginning was, what zodiac sign are you?
My zodiac sign, Aries.
Because you're like so organized and like goal oriented. So I was imagining that you are something around the Aries Taurus. Great, and everything's gonna be in the footnote. So all the links to your mastermind and to the first 100K track. And yeah, what is your biggest dream at this moment?
My biggest dream at this moment is to if I need to choose one dream, I will give you like a shorter goal. My dream right now is to have my business fully automated so I can focus to write a book. I really would love to become an author. And so that is a project that I'm thinking for like starting towards the end of the year. And so that is a dream of mine. I really want to become an author and to impact more people in that way.
That's such a beautiful dream. What do you need so that you can fully automate your business?
I just need to record a few more modules, a few more follow-up setups, just like within the back end of the whole. It's like a money machine. It's crazy because like the way people are making money right now is just like so different from what we learned in university like 20 years ago, and so it's a complete different world. But it's all these digital companies, like you have like so many things interconnected, so many apps and things to just connect just about everything. So I'm in the process of building all those connections, so that later on it's just moving on autopilot. So that is the goal, and I am already like very well advance in that, but I still need a few weeks to get it sorted. So yeah.
Amazing. I was thinking that maybe you are looking for somebody like a VA or something of the sort. So I was thinking if you need something, just say it out loud so that people can listen, and then who
Oh
knows?
yeah, I actually hired my first employee last week.
Yay!
Actually on Monday she started. So
Amazing.
that is something that I wanted to do. So I'm reading this book right now. 10x um, is easier than 2x, and that book is revolutionary. Like it's just crazy. And so just one of the things that I learned from that book is that like you need to focus on the 20% that you really are good at, and then the 80% just give it to someone else.
Yeah.
And then as you evolve, that someone else will will have some 20% that she excels in, and so she can later on like hire someone to take care of that 20%, because otherwise I'm busy doing things, but I know that utilizing my full potential, I can grow my company faster if I just focus on those things that move the needle, not those things that keep me busy.
100%. And I celebrate that. I did this because when you said 10x, I thought that you were reading Alex Hormozzi's book.
Oh my gosh. I
100.
actually based my offer on 100 million offers.
That's
My
amazing. Yeah.
offer, I based it on his book.
Yeah. I mean,
He
like
is
you went through
brilliant.
the course and right, like the book and the course, and then he has
The
the
book, yes, the book, the video, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And for my masterclass, I followed the perfect webinar from Russell Brunson.
The ClickFunnels.
Yes, it's just it's crazy how it really works like wonders. It's the exact system that Kiana, my coach and now my boss, she used for her business, which is generating between $500,000 and $1 million per month on autopilot. So I'm just modeling what works. She told me read that book. I read the book, and it's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to this, like, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to recreate something that already works.
Exactly. We need to model what works already.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for rephrasing that. So you mentioned that your goal, like your short-term goal, is to fully automate your business so that you can write a book. And I can't wait to read your book. What is an audacious dream? Something that is like the biggest life dream that you have for yourself now?
I really would love to. I want to retire my husband so that we could really like live anywhere. Like, I would love to spend some time in Thailand. Then sometime I want to go back to Peru, and I also like maybe like I don't know, that would be like a big, super bigger step, but I'm really considering um, homeschooling for my kids, because I don't really I I have like so many um, thoughts now about the education system, and just to see my kids that they are going through the education system is like, no, but I had to fight so much to take away like some of the brainwashing that happens in school. So one of my wildest dreams is really to have my kids um, homeschooled, and then just follow their curiosity. And if they say, "Hey, mom, I I want to learn Chinese and the Chinese culture," okay, let's go to China.
Yeah.
Or, I want to learn how to practice capoeira. Okay, let's go to Brazil. And let's have, 6 months, learn what you want, and learning languages, be like fully immersed. Like, you want to learn about animals, let's go to Africa in a safari. Like, to have that kind of freedom where money is not really an issue anymore, and that it really gives you the freedom to have those experiences that you want, instead of learning from textbooks. Okay, let's go to this museum over here. Let's go in, to have it just like an a learning experience for for the kids. Just follow their curiosity. I think like there is so much pressure. My personal experience was, I finished school and then I'm supposed to start university, and at 16 I need to choose what I want to do for the rest of my life. And if I drop out of university, I would be considered a failure. So the amount of pressure that I was feeling at that moment, especially because I knew that for my parents, it was like a huge, for my mom especially, a huge financial, um, a contribution, because like money was not abundant. And even when I finished school, all my friends went to university. I did not go to university for 1 year because my mom could not pay for it. So I wasn't like, okay, I need to choose something. I cannot get it wrong. I cannot make a mistake. I cannot just go and think what I'm going to do. Like, that would be like a luxury I cannot do to myself. And so I felt a lot of pressure, and I just chose something that 30 years later I dropped.
I mean, you exchange for something better and more
Yes,
abundant
yes,
and more
but
passion.
that is the thing. I think like we need to. I would love to provide to my kids, instead of thinking I need to, to study and then to work and, just prove to my parents that I'm worthy. I want them to really discover themselves,
Yeah.
to follow their curiosity, to find what is your unique gift. Have you watched that movie, Soul, from
Uh,
Pixar? Pretty much there is this person that was working as a teacher, and he was working the routine, and then something happens, and then he wants to inspire others to, like, he discovers what he loves, and he's now like inspiring other people to really truly do what they love. And it's just amazing because that is what life is about. It's about discovering what is your unique gifts, what, to know yourself from the inside out,
yeah.
and to know, like, what is your zone of genius, like what is, I think everybody is a genius in some level, but just because we are thinking about something else, we prioritize different things, the education system and the society, and there is just so much that we don't really explore our potential in a way that we could.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for naming that. I think that a lot of people, you know, as you said, you didn't have the luxury of going immediately to university. So I think that a lot of people kind of lose that luxury of inquiring, what is it that actually brings me joy? What is it actually that I could bring to life? How is it that I could serve? What is the best way for me to bring my energy to life? I think most of us are just like, oh my god, I have to like pay the bills and buy the next car, and yeah, so there is no, like, not a lot of space for inquiring and really sinking deep into your heart. And like, I like my when I see you speaking about things, and I feel joy because I feel that you really tap into what brings you most alive, and you have like such an empowering story. You are a mom, and COVID was so difficult, so you've got the heroine journey, right? And I can see it. I mean, like, I don't know you before, but on your face there is just so much joy and luminosity coming from, well, I'm finally doing that what I was supposed to be doing.
Yes, and I can thank you for that. And I can, I really feel it, like I remember when I was, in a life event with my coach, and like she was like, in during her pro in this event, like she talks about her accelerator program. And so she's also um like she gives you the opportunity to be certified as a money coach. And so when she was talking about all the things that you can become, all the things that you are going to learn, all, like, I could see myself, like I gave myself the permission to actually think that, okay, I can actually do something else. It was like midnight because the event was in the US, like in the afternoon. And I was crying at the thought of, I want to do this. Like, I want to learn how to master my finances in a level that I can teach others how to do it. And I want to, like, learn how to make this automatic business that I can give me more freedom of time, freedom of location, freedom of money. And so I saw myself, like, I want to achieve this. And I was like, I was crying. I felt it in my bones that I had to do it. It was like a huge investment. That is, I think, like the biggest investment that I made in myself. It was like $30,000. And I was like, before she even mentioned the price, I was like, I don't care how much is this. I'm going to sign up. This is for me. I can feel it in my bones. This is for me. And then when she said, okay, the down payment is like $2,500, I was like, okay, how much do I have in my bank account? I have that amount exactly. I'm gonna do it. My husband was sleeping. I told him only like 1 week later
Yeah.
that I signed up to that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I really celebrate your faith and taking this huge leap, because $30,000, it's like
Yes.
somebody's
Oh
car.
yes.
And then you
Oh
said,
yes.
this is worth it for me. Like, I am worth that.
Yeah.
Right. So you're like, universe, do you see me? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
We are going to make this happen. I really had this mindset of, I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to make it happen. Like whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm like, like I told you, I want to burn the bridges.
Mhm.
I'm doing this and I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I kept thinking, how can I make money? Like, where am I going to get it? Because I didn't have the money. I don't have $10,000 like that. So I went to the bank. I asked for a loan.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I just asked for a loan to the bank.
Yeah. And something ignited in my mind when you said that you didn't have the money, because I think that a lot of people, when they want anything, right, and then they see the price, they see the investment, or maybe it's also time investment, it's not only the money. And for many people, the first thing that gets uploaded is, I can't do this, I can't afford it, it's too much. And for you, what got uploaded was, how am I gonna do this? Because for sure I'm gonna do this, right? So when you are from no, I can't, to okay, this is happening, how, you are directed to finding solutions. So of course your brain was like,
Absolutely.
ask, okay, this is what I'm gonna do now. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Like our brains are like a problem solving machine. If we say, this is too expensive, there's no way I can do it. I think also there is like some belief of worthiness tied to those words. But if you actually tell yourself, okay, how am I going to do it? Your brain is going to start looking for the answers. And then suddenly, boom, an idea will come. Hey, have you thought about this? Or have you thought about, ask for a loan, or ask, just, it's crazy. Like things started to happen when you actually want them to happen. So yeah, it's crazy. But I was very sure that I really wanted to do that. And something else that I learned like quite recently is that it's important to remove from our vocabulary the word expensive. That it is best to think about it as expansive. Something that really expands it challenges you. Like if it's something that you want to do, it's like, how can I expand my possibilities to make it happen?
Yeah.
So it's not expensive, it's expansive.
I love it. I'm gonna use this expansive, and I really appreciate what you're bringing into the discussion, the idea of worthiness, because I think it's also a question of, do I really want it, and does it really matter to me? And if it does, then am I worthy of getting, receiving, allowing myself to create the abundance to actually get that what I want?
Yes. And I think it's also like believing, like to be sure that believe that you can do it. That to tell yourself, I'm smart enough to make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm worthy of it. Like you are your best asset. I think like the very first investment, the most important investment is always on yourself. Because the more you grow as a person, you will grow your business, you will grow your relationships, you will grow just anything around you. So you are the most important asset is always you.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Um, Not really. No.
Where can we find you online?
All right. So online, I am on Instagram and on TikTok at This Mama Invests.
Great. So I'm gonna add all the links to your website and also to your accounts. And thank you so much for being here with me today. And we kicked off together this Money Matters series, and I'm really, really grateful for your energy and your expertise and the practical tips that you shared with us.
All right. Thank you so much, Aga, for this opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and let's make money matter.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, the best way to support us is to subscribe and share. And if you know anybody who would be a great fit to be featured on the show, please do reach out. Meanwhile, make your money matter.